Hey gang, it's Jay from JTech and this is the Samsung Galaxy S7. As you guys may know, I have done a lot of talk on the S7 and as you can imagine, I was itching to get my hands on one of this year's big flagships. And with that being said, it's time to get into the review. From the first moment you see the S7, you're reminded of just how far Samsung have come from the days of plastic. This phone just looks damn good, though not as sexy as the Edge variant, which I'll get to in detail in a video coming soon. Comparing the S7's design to the S6's will be a little unfair as the S7 looks exactly like its predecessor, but the differences are still noticeable. The camera bulge is gone, which is great. The back edges are curved to enable you to pick up the phone up pretty easily, and apart from that, nothing much has changed from the look of the S6 and the Galaxy S7. The top has a slot that combines the micro SIM and micro SD card, which has made a welcome return, and apart from the sleek curve on the side, it's not a totally new device we're getting from Samsung. IP67 waterproof coating is in the S7, but does it without the annoying flaps, similar to the S5, and it is also dustproof, which is pretty awesome as well. The one thing that has made an unwelcome return from the S6 is a slippery fingerprint magnet Gorilla Glass back that Samsung claim is less slippery on the S7 compared to the S6, but I could notice no difference at all. A cool skin from Dbrand's or Skinomi or even a slick wrap skin will probably be the first thing you'll get for your S7. But besides that, the S7 is still a pretty piece of I have said it once before and I'll say it again, Samsung does it better than anyone else in the game in terms of screen quality. I know you guys cannot see it in my god-awful camera, but thanks to The Verge, you can have a glimpse of just how beautiful the screen is. This is the definition of crispy as bleak. The 2560 by 1445.1 inch panel in all its AMOLED glory just kills colors left, right and center. Blacks are deep as usual and white backgrounds look like a plain paper, which is really dope in my opinion, and this should arguably be the best display on the phone this year. Arguably. Samsung's TouchWiz UI, which is no longer called TouchWiz, but for the sake of this video I'll call it TouchWiz anyway, brings more round app icons than before, which is reminiscent of phones from Chinese OEMs. The fingerprint scanner is also much faster, and as you may have seen on other YouTube videos, the S7 scanner beats Touch ID in a speed test, so that is a major thumbs up for Samsung on that one. It is pretty stripped back and has less lag than usual, and it utilizes Android Marshmallow 6.1 to its advantage by adding the always on feature seen on the previous gen Motorola X and also the LG G5, which uses a few pixels on your display to show the time, the date, and the calendar. Samsung added a constellation option to the always on feature, but I see people using the other two options on their Galaxy S7. But TouchWiz, or whatever Samsung is calling it now, has improved a little bit. Save for the terrible icons, I cannot wait to see how Android N will make the S7 a much better device. This could be hands down the fastest autofocus I've ever seen on a phone, ever. I'm sorry that you can't see clearly, but hot damn, the S7 would be a decent replacement camera for YouTubers like me. A 12 megapixel camera with f2.8 aperture and 4K videos at 30 frames per second, including slow-mo at an improved 59.9 frames per second, justifies Samsung's switch to 12 megapixels from the 16 megapixels on the S6. The front-facing shooter is still decent at 5 megapixels and takes crisp selfies if you're into that. With the addition of gestures to capture stills, it does the job in a time-saving manner. The S7 backs a 3000 mAh battery that lasts up to 7 hours on little to no usage, and this utilizes Android Marshmallow's doze feature, but with medium to heavy usage, it lasts up to a fairly disappointing 6 hours. Samsung has been blasted by some critics for not adding USB-C to the S7, which, despite adding faster charging and faster data transfer speeds compared to microUSB, has not been adopted as a mainstream form of physical data transfer. Samsung also added microUSB features to the Gear VR headset that accompanies the S7, so it would have been a huge miss to bundle the USB-C on the S7. But back to the battery, which can be charged wirelessly and also quickly with fast charging enabled, it is still not replaceable, but I can live with that since portable chargers are available on the cheap when you're stuck somewhere, but that wouldn't be much of a worry as fast charging adds 25% to your battery in 5 minutes, which is great for those extremely worried about the battery life on the Galaxy S7. The Samsung Galaxy S7 is not a major leap forward from Samsung. keeping the best features of the S6 like fast charging and the fingerprint scanner and improving on them, as well as bringing back old favorites like the SD card and waterproofing the phone. At a cost of $599 for the 32GB variant, it is by no means a cheap device. The prices in Zambia are ranging from 7,500 kwacha to 9,500 kwacha, so you might want to dig deep in your wallet to get the S7. I love the camera, which is just super impressive and very fast, and the really quick fingerprint scanner just makes such phones a marvel to use. I feel the battery could have still been improved on and the glass would have been made less slippery. It's a shame that Samsung is saving these simple features, these simple additions for the S8 or even probably the Note 6. If you're upgrading from the S6, I suggest you look at the S7 Edge, which I'll talk about in another video, because some of the features, apart from the return of expandable storage on the S7, are reminiscent of the S6. For those who held on to the S5s or S4s and hated the S6, this is worth the upgrade. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video, and if you did and want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Major thanks to The Verge for the additional content. I'll leave links on the screen to their review of the Galaxy S7. So thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.